So welcome to the Startup Pitch Competition. My name is Caroline Dennis with 2 Degrees and XR Women and VR AR Chicago. Today we have 3 hours of total, broken into 2 sessions of 1.5 hours each, with a 30-minute break in between. We have 14 companies. Give it a big round. 14 companies! They will have 5 minutes to pitch, and that's a hard 5 minutes. And I have a Red Sox hat on, and when it gets past 5 minutes, I'm putting that Red Sox hat on, and you do not want to see me with the Red Sox hat on. And then there'll be 5 minutes of questions from our esteemed judges here. And then we will end that, and this evening they will be determining the next startup to watch at the Augie Awards and the XR Prize. And I hope all of you will be there tonight, so it's going to be awesome. After this, there will be a luncheon that will be happening from 5 to 6 to give founders and investors the chance to network and connect. And then there'll be companies who are at varying stages, but we have Series A companies from a diverse set of topics. We have everyone from educational, fitness, AI training, art, accessibility, and more. So, before we get started, I would like to introduce our incredible judges. We have Marco DeMiroz from Venture Reality Fund. We have Maddie Callander from Boost VC and Greg Castle from Anorak Ventures. Thank you so much. Give everybody a round of applause. Thank you to our judges. Okay, so we're going to kick it off today with Gregory Tran from Trace. Gregory, take it away.
Hello, hello. Hello to everyone at Augmented World Expo. My name is Greg, and our company Trace allows you to make spatial 3D recordings and add immersive AR content to any location or product on Earth. Now, typically creating AR content could be extremely difficult or time-consuming, but with Trace, a 3D recording like this can be made within a single tap on your phone. And I can actually walk around anywhere in this space. I can give a tour, I can show off different products and experiences. We can add content like you can see here for product displays, events, training, art, and more. Now at Trace, we're focused on high-end experiences and immersive content. And anything that's published with Trace can be seen on iOS, Android, and even AR headsets. Now, we've added AR content all around AWE. So come check out our startup table to learn more. So the recording we just watched was made yesterday in the same space that we're in right now. And it can be viewed in 3 dimensions on any device. So as mentioned, my name is Greg, and our team at Trace has over 30 years of experience in AR and real-time 3D. We've worked and studied at places like Harvard, Magic Leap, DARPA, and AAA game studios. And through that experience, we've seen that AR is the most powerful when it's tied to context. And every location and object on Earth can be empowered through AR to share opportunities for commerce, entertainment, and experience. So typically creating these types of experiences can be quite difficult. And that's why we're building Trace to be the ideal platform for creating contextual and immersive AR experiences. So we've done some incredible installations and worked with great companies like Deutsche Telekom, Qualcomm, Lenovo, New World Development, and more. And for any artist or creator or brand, we make it extremely simple for you to share your story and content for stores, institutions, or any location. So we have a great interface for deploying AR content, and anything that you want to express, you can also just tap record and say it. So this can also be branded with your content as well. So when people arrive at your space or see your product, it recognizes it automatically, and they're welcomed directly into the experience, like you can see here at K11 Musea in Hong Kong. So in addition to our 3D recording and deployment, we're also building tools to enable premium templates and generative layouts that would typically require experts in 3D design and UX. Now this can allow any brand to create polished, refined experiences and moments. And with our platform, we're also enabling high-end environments to create cinematic level quality for some of the best artists and immersive experiences anywhere. And so we're partnered with Qualcomm, and this really allows us to deploy any assets within moments on AR headsets, including this incredible piece by the AR artist Voids. So we've been working with the great team at Deutsche Telekom, and we can basically deploy their content at scale as well. So we're working closely with them to bring AR product displays to their flagship stores in Germany. But we can actually rapidly scale that to hundreds of stores all over Europe. And we're going to be training their salespeople with 3D recordings as well. So these types of experiences can be applied to all sorts of different locations. And for any product, we can share AR instructions, brand benefits, and virtual guides. So here are some of the incredible installations and integrations and partners that we have in our pipeline and some of the great content that we're building with Trace. And we really see a big opportunity in enterprise AR and brand deployments. And we're also tapping into the opportunity for high-end agencies and creators to support them as well. And we really want Trace to be the primary platform for contextual AR experiences around the world. So right now, we're focused on building foundational tools and partnerships. And as we continue to grow our creative ecosystem, we'll do that with products and spaces and immersive experiences all around your city. And so we're really focused on building Trace as a scalable, immersive experience. And really, that's where we see the future of AR headed. And so we've actually added AR content all around the event here at AWE. So come check it out at our startup table. We'd love to give you guys a demo. And we would love to work with everyone here at the event. So feel free to reach out to me if you're a partner or creator or anyone even just to chat. So thank you so much.
That was awesome. All right, so we have 5 minutes for our judges, and we would like to give them a chance to ask questions. So take it away.
What is the business model for a brand partner?
So we're a B2B2C company. We charge based on number of locations. And so, if you're a store, you're deploying to many stores, we'll charge based on the number of stores. Or if it's a one-time event, we have different pricing strategy.
So, what does, if you think about what the world looks like in, say, 5 years, what is a really successful Trace deployment look like?
One, or just where the company will be in particular?
Take us through a customer experience, perhaps.
Yeah, so, I mentioned this project that we're doing with Deutsche Telekom. We've been working really closely with their teams. We're deploying to some of their flagship stores. We're talking about basically scaling that to hundreds of stores all over Europe. And so basically that's the type of thing that we want to replicate with many companies, right? And so that allows them to basically deploy both AR content experiences, but also train their staff remotely through 3D recordings. So they can basically make recordings at their HQ, push it to all of these different locations, and those can be immersive experiences or sort of standalone experiences as well.
Give us for example of what a training experience would be like that would really benefit from AR.
For example, we're also working with Blue Origin, right? And so the key with what we're doing is that it's contextual, right? And so you can actually walk up to machinery, you can point things out. And the reason we're doing this and doing it on a phone is that typically when you do that type of training, you have to bring it into a 3D program and point arrows and all this stuff. And instead you could just hand it to someone who actually doesn't know anything about AR, and they could just hit record like they do with a video, and all of a sudden they're a hologram. And so that's a really quick way to turn subject matter experts into AR experiences, and that also allows it to be contextual and basically bring people into that experience.
Greg, in terms of growth and adoption, where are the handicaps for you when you talk to enterprise customers and saying we have an AR platform for various use cases? What are the main handicaps for you, and also across the industrial sort of sector, where do you find the easiest adoption verticals?
When you say handicap, what do you mean in particular?
Like customer, educating the customer and providing the value proposition and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a AR-wide type education. I think that what we're trying to do is provide a system that people don't have to think about it all. In other words, you can deploy on Trace. It works on AR headset. It works on iPhone. It works on Android. And we're trying to provide a platform layer that is a one-stop shop for some of that stuff. But I think that for most of those integrations, it's more of an AR type education than in particular our tool.
So, Greg, first of all, you're very brave for going first.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Not to spoil the surprise or anything, but we're rating you on a number of different things, and one of the things is team's ability to execute. So for Greg and for all the other people who are coming after you, maybe you can just touch on your ability to execute, whether or not you guys have worked in a similar field beforehand or have any traction or whatever.
Yeah, so I've been working in AR since 2008. My co-founders all met at Magic Leap. We've all been in the space for over a decade, working both in immersive AR and also in mobile AR. And so we complement each other really well. We actually met doing an AR product competition that got first place. And so, I think we're in some ways subject matter experts in this particular space. With regards to our traction, we've made obviously some great partnerships with some major companies and have a lot of great projects in the works. And so that's sort of where we are in terms of, large-scale deployments and some bespoke stuff. Basically, we're working both to build the platform, and then in some cases, we're doing a little bit of custom work to sort of build those tools as we grow the platform as well.
Think we're good?
Awesome. Well, everybody give Greg a big round of applause. Next up, we have VR Workout. We have April Hu and Alex Azzi. Welcome. Take it away.
All right. Woo-hoo. Okay, we just have to set this up.
We need that adapter.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I don't have the hold music. Ding, 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 ding.
Which browser was it in? It's just there. Okay, just open it again.
The timer started already.
Yes.
It does? Oh, that's counted for us? Okay. All right. Well, I'm April, and I'm an international entrepreneur in tech and visionary founder, co-founder here. He is a visionary in health and fitness. We share the vision of this. You have to do something because there's no music on this. So we share the vision about making the world a happier, healthier, and longer life place. This comes to my story. Basically, 2 years ago, around this time, I went through my final bout of chemotherapy for breast cancer. I was lonely, super tired. My head was as bald as an egg. That experience made me realize how people who want to exercise are not able to because of some factors like inconvenient, lack of time, really boring, and social anxiety and loneliness. So we really wanted to come up with something that is exercise that's fun and consistent. So we created VR Workout, and it is now to now. A few months ago, we launched on the Oculus Store, and we bootstrapped last year with funding from Meta. $350,000 last year, and a few weeks ago, they gave us another $300,000. We are about making a virtual reality experience that's fun and make people exercise before you know you've done something. So we have a couple of superior features compared to the other VR apps out there. We are full body. You could do no need for hand controller. You could use weights. You could do that tricep push-up off a chair. You can see your surroundings and no bumping into things or falling off. And we are quick to start, 20 seconds. And we are personalized. You could choose your own music, right? And you're able to from YouTube, and we could do in-game changing according to your heart rate. It'll tell you to slow or go quicker. And of course, you get to customize your own exercise based on a personal dashboard. It is a great, good habit forming, addictive in a good way. There's new experience every time, gamified, win those points, and you do multiplayer so that you are held accountable by yourself and others. And this brings me to, oops, I pressed the wrong button. And this is our key feature, we're a multiplayer. It basically allows you to connect to your friends, your family, your community, and we even offer a trainer platform for those trainers to be able to make a living connecting their community. So, our traction. With that Meta grant, we now have 70,000 unique users over the last 2 months. We have 1,200 active users daily, 4.1 store review. We are moving, yeah, right? And so right now we are actually looking at an amazing opportunity. Just looking at those who have access to VR headsets, that's a $3.4 billion market. If you look at the health and fitness online market, it's 10 times that. It's a $32.4 billion. We're talking about 5-6 years from now, it's an over $106.4 billion market. It's huge. And our team, our talented team, is united to pioneer this new industry and really use innovative technology, in particular, Michael, who leads with our dedicated, incredible development studio, and he is a technical genius. He deploys technology in his passion in fitness. So with that, we are fundraising because we want to hone our product, implement AI, develop that trainer program, scale, do research, really know even more about our users, and we are going to enable human connection to create happier, healthier, longer lives because we are VR workout and we are movement. So come and check us out. We're at the playground, booth 1442, and looking for partners, funders, and really believing this vision, making the world better, not even for ourselves, but for our children, for our parents.
Thank you both. On that note, give them a big round of applause. Awesome. Questions?
How are you engaging with your customers to get them back into VR on a daily basis?
So yeah, that there is, based on our retention layer, what we call the retention layer, the core mechanic is the base layer, and then how do we bring people back is the retention layer. So we're doing that mainly via, the multiplayer aspects, like April said, the accountability, showing up on time to a committed workout, as well as other, mechanisms through the app, push notifications, setting calendar appointments, and these kinds of things. So using different technical means.
Yeah, and let's just add, the accountability is actually user-led. So we're not led by a trainer or a studio. So I feel even more accountable, like setting something up with my mom, and we do a little bit of exercise.
Actually, I was going to ask about the same thing because 70,000 downloads and 1,200 daily users, which is a common problem across the whole VR sector, because the daily engagement tends to be much, much lower. And in fitness in general, people need sort of a continuous forcing function, because fitness goes in, like after, Christmas, everybody starts exercising, and then they stop and then start again during the summer. So have you sort of figured out sort of incentive mechanisms to reward for performance, beyond the trainer, but some other stuff? And then also, is there sort of business model implications? How do you have to bring the people onto the platform and retain and sort of engage them?
If I may, so first of all, 100,000 downloads, 70,000 users, active unique users. So about 70% of people who download it actually try it That's another challenge with the platform. In terms of what you're talking about, we did form what we believe to be the best implementation of play to earn, or incentivizing and rewarding gameplay. It's not the best time to deploy something like that, but we did build a sort of an economic model around that. And aside from that, the retention is mainly through, are you committed to your wellness? Are you committed to living a better life, a longer life? Then please show up. We'll help you, we'll retarget you, we'll send you emails, we'll send you push notifications. It's up to you to show up.
Yeah. And just to add that, we are now, part of the funding is to do observational feasibility studies with our current users and also with other users to know what makes people exercise, what will make them come back. And I think that valuable data will really help us be resilient in as we fine-tune our product.
How much does it cost?
Free. We have a commitment, free for all, free forever. Right now it's 10 minutes per day, no obligation. If you want to go above 10 minutes in a day, you will be asked to pay the $10 per month. The trainers will probably have a higher price point, about like $100 a month, and we'll facilitate them sending a headset to their client so that they can both train together from the comfort of their own homes. Think outside the screen. They're delivering trainings on their mobile phones. We think that's a bit tragic when you can put this on and be immersed.
$10 a month. And what does the competitive landscape look like? How much does Supernatural charge and some of the other
Supernatural's $20 a month.
$20 a month.
They don't even let you try the software without opting into a trial.
Okay.
A 7-day trial. That's not even enough time to pick up the headset again, let alone fall in love with the product. Mm-hmm. So we've maximized the free trial, and we have the free 30 days of Pro. But you will always have that free version, 10 minutes a day or some, reasonable amount when you want to fulfill your commitment to yourself. So we'll be there for you.
What made you choose $10 as the monthly charge, as opposed to $5 or $20?
We don't want to undercut our value. We are claiming to be the most effective workout right now. And so we believe that market rate is a reasonable amount for that. So the second competitor FedXR is $10 a month.
And just to add, actually, if you start a multiplayer, it's free for you.
Yeah, unlimited free if you create a multiplayer room.
So we're really about wanting to bring the community up and make it, to have it low friction as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
April, awesome, energetic presentation. And by the way, some of these questions will repeat because we're going to be asking similar questions to a lot of companies. If you're fundraising, assume that you didn't have any sort of handicaps or barriers on the fundraising side. If you had access to all the capital you need, one more. And what would you do differently? If you had access to all the capital you need, what would you do tomorrow differently?
In a couple, just 2-3 words or so.
Okay. Our vision is to make a happier life, healthier life for people. And I come from Singapore. I think there's huge populations not in the global north that could benefit, and I am determined to offer something that is lower cost, customized, convenient for many, many women, elderly, sedentary gamer kids. That's what I would do. We should do it as quick as possible.
Thank you, everybody. Give them a big round of applause. VR workout.
Okay, next up, we have Mike Noonen from Suave Photonics. Take it away.
Thank you very much. So, Suave Photonics is a fabless semiconductor company, and we're a spin-out from IMEC, the world-renowned research institute in Belgium. And we're developing holographic display chips to bring for the first time immersive, ultra-high-resolution, true holographic displays to life. Why holography? Well, this audience knows holography is the ultimate when it comes to 3D visualization, and really the holy grail, because it behaves the way the human vision system expects things to behave. But holography is difficult. Diffractive optics in a pixel pitch, the distance between 2 pixels, half the wavelength of light. Blue light's 450 nanometers, so we're talking 225 nanometer pixels. Why do we need such small pixels? This chart tells the story. On the x-axis is pixel pitch. The y-axis is field of view. And you can see you only get to a usable field of view once you get below about 500 nanometers. Today's technology, LCOS, MEMS, DLP, micro-LED, state-of-the-art's 2 micron. It will never scale economically to do true holography. Swave has solved this. We're introducing the world's first spatial light modulator for digital holography. We're developing and have introduced 250 nanometer pixel pitch based upon what's turned out to be a widely available semiconductor technology, phase change memory. This ends up being something that's very scalable, up to 64 gigapixel. But because it's a semiconductor technology based upon CMOS process, very low cost, and uniquely patented and exclusive to Swave. How does this work? The Swave holographic display chip is illuminated by a laser source. And we basically modulate, turn the pixels on and off to sculpt an image, a holographic image, in the first diffraction order. This gives us unprecedented resolution, 16 megapixels per millimeter squared, which means our first device, 256 megapixels, will fit quite nicely into a standard eyeglass frame. This 2 order of magnitude advantage over existing technologies brings so many benefits and really addresses all of the shortcomings and all of the frustrations with existing technology. Complexity is dramatically reduced, direct view. The claustrophobia and headaches goes away because this is a full wavefront that's generated. Retina resolution, total immersion, infinite depth of focus, and full color RGB. And again, CMOS economics. This is low cost. So we're going to dramatically make AR glasses and VR goggles better, make heads-up displays better, and really bring to life the vision that Qualcomm has of a holographic image rendered in front of our eyes. But not at the end of the decade, now. But beyond making AR glasses and goggles better, we're going to enable goggles-free immersive displays, volumetric displays, holographic walls. This is a team that's brought semiconductor display technologies to volume and scale, with experience from NXP, Lam Research, Barco, IMEC, Dialog, Broadcom. And very happy to say our innovations and breakthrough has been recognized as first place at the Photonics West Startup Challenge earlier this year, finalist in Paris at Hello Tomorrow, very recently named to be a finalist for the Luminate Accelerator in New York State, which is also an investor now in Swave, and we are very happy that the government of Flanders just awarded us 2.1 million euros of non-dilutive investment. So to summarize, this is the world's first spatial light modulator with half lambda pixels, enabling gigapixel resolution, but with CMOS economics, dramatically improving AR and VR goggles, but enabling a whole new class of experience that's goggles-free. We're well-funded, set up for success with raising over $10 million US in seed round. This is going to be a very high-margin product, and we'll be sampling our first devices to key partners later this year. So with that, thank you so much, and I really appreciate the opportunity to present Suave Photonics.
Incredible, folks. I want those so I can do VR workout in a very cool pair of glasses. Okay, questions?
Yeah, the question is, it's great that you're using custom CMOS and everything to lower the cost, but in the component business, despite the margins, the success is really a large volume of adoption, right? And then, regardless of the CMOS and everything, you still have high capital demand to ramp up the volume and go down the price curve. So how do you become a de facto standard?
Great question. And to a certain degree, we're basically leveraging the experience that many members of our team, such as Broadcom, and really having innovations that leverage other people's capital. And so being a foundry-enabled innovation, we're engaging and leveraging the capital that's already been invested and applied for the first time to a photonics breakthrough. And so very much the leverage and essentially the acceleration that we're enjoying is due to the fact that we're following a fabless model, which is dramatically different from almost every other photonics breakthrough.
With the holographic side, what are the customers that you're looking to target as the first examples?
A great question. And what we see is, an opportunity to really make, near-eye applications much, much better. And so working with, some of the leaders when it comes to AR glasses, but also VR goggles, as, they see an opportunity to dramatically reduce, the complexity and bill of materials. That essentially means today they're still subsidizing, even at, new price points, the solutions that they're deploying. But those solutions also still suffer from all of the issues in terms of trying to mimic or have the very complex band-aids for depth of field and field of view. We make all that complexity go away and improve the experience and lower the cost.
I'm going to go back to my question. So I think fabless semi is a common model. I wouldn't say that's a competitive advantage, but really the issue is your last bullet, perhaps, like how do you really get adopted across various partners to become this sort of dominant solution?
So the other piece of the puzzle is, working with the content, makers, and every single one of them, from A to Z is signing up for the development kits that we'll be shipping, later this year, and it'll allow us to take, content that's generated in Blender and Unity and those environments and turn those into, holographic content. And so we're going to see the market, with very low-cost development kits that's going to enable today's content, now to move into a holographic experience.
Do you have a demo unit?
We're showing all of our fundamental technology in the Hyatt Regency Napa 2, and so showing how the world's first holograms, in fact, have several world's first here at the show, showing holograms based upon phase change material, which is a world's first, as well as showing our algorithms to generate the most sophisticated and complex holographic scenes ever.
So a demo that has multiple components showed individually, but you don't have one.
Not yet. So we're targeting CES to have the world's first dynamic holographic chips. So stay tuned.
Great.
With that, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the questions and the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mike. So next we have Ohto Pentikäinen with, Double point. My apologies. Everybody give him a round of applause for Ohto.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Ohto Pentikäinen. I'm the co-founder and CEO at DoublePoint. We're the touch interface company. I wanted to bring you a Oculus Quest Pro here today, just to see that we've taped up the cameras. So actually, in terms of gesture recognition, the camera is, the headset is currently useless. That is really just to show how dependent we're on cameras today for gesture recognition. Now, that for Oculus Quest Pro is, it's justifiable, but you see how that affects the form factor. That device there has 10 cameras on it. Now, I've heard maybe 5 or 6 times already during this conference that people, are saying that we're getting to a light AR headset form factor soon. That's what we're doing soon. Now, the thing is, if you want light AR and discrete input, you can't have 10 cameras. If you want that form factor, it doesn't fit a single camera in it. The Nreal Air doesn't have a single camera on it. The second you add cameras, let's say the Xiaomi AR glasses shown in MWC, 2 or 3 cameras, immediately you can see the difference on the form factor. Now, all hope is gone in terms of gesture recognition, or is it? Now, we have a demonstration where we put a post-it on the Oculus Quest Pro, and we're still able to do hand tracking. Well, how is that possible? It's actually due to a algorithm that we've developed with DoublePoint, which does all of hand tracking from the watch. That's an off-the-shelf Samsung Galaxy Watch, and I have it here on my wrist as well, and I'm able to do touch detection with it, and I can use this as a general-purpose point-and-select device. Now, you've seen probably different companies in the space building wristbands and whatnot. What makes this truly special is that we haven't built a wristband. This is fully software. So what we've done is we've developed a algorithm, and actually, we're not the only ones. Apple has assistive touch. Control Labs was acquired by Meta. But there's a problem. They're not going to license to you. They're going to develop it on their own. So what we did is we made it available for everyone. All you need is an IMU on the wrist. So it's not only smartwatches, It's not only Fitbits, it could be any wrist-worn device with an IMU on it. We have the only hardware-agnostic solution on the market for being able to do hand tracking from the wrist. And it's rich, robust, intuitive gestures, as you saw it. I didn't do a lot of effort onto it. It worked as I was hoping to. And if you're following my wrist here, it's not triggering false positives. So we've really put in the work to make this actually reliable and usable. We have over 100 developers already building on it. And yeah, we have it patented. We're powering the whole industry with these touch detection algorithms. We really believe touch as a fundamental sense is important for humans. We're working across the industry on several different layers. We have the OEMs covered, the ODMs covered, the chip manufacturers, and the sensor manufacturers. As a matter of fact, we launched our Qualcomm partnership or collaboration just yesterday, where we're able to embed our algorithm straight onto their chips. So any OEMs, any ODMs looking to integrate this into their wearables can get it straight on the chip. So none of this hardware problems that you've had previously with these integrations, they don't exist anymore. And as Dino from the wearables team at Qualcomm said, there's huge synergies in XR and wearables. So we're all about the marriage, and we think it's a match made in heaven. We recently launched with our 3 million in funding. We were covered by VentureBeat, but we're already talking to our next potential investors. So if you're interested, come to us, try the demos at the booth at 943, meet the team. We have an amazing team of PhDs, electrical engineers, data scientists, doing it quickly and rapidly and just trying to get these light headsets into market. Thank you.
Nice. Questions?
So, to be clear, the 3 million has been raised already?
Yeah.
Got it.
That's correct.
And has that come in from financial investors or strategic investors? Or
Yeah, so that is completely neutral VCs, angels, and then there's some government funding. We are from Finland after all, so we like the government a lot.
Tell us about the use cases that developers are most excited about and using.
Yeah, so the ones that we see raise a lot of interest are when you're somehow restricted in your motions. So hand tracking, computer vision based, tends to have occlusion problems. Then, of course, line of sight problems. Sometimes there's ergonomics problems, so you just don't want to raise your hand in the air. We have an integration with eye tracking where you can use your eye as a pointer and the watch as a selector. So you can actually just keep this by your side, and you're able to fully input into augmented reality. So it's usually the problem statements of ergonomics or occlusion.
And you mentioned kind of functionality, but how about actual use cases? Are there specific apps that you're getting more traction with?
Yeah, so actually we're in an interesting situation because this is such a fundamental of a problem that we're not actually that. We get a huge amount of interest only from basic operating system input. So not even specific applications because it is such a fundamental problem to the control of AR that you're not able to have gesture recognition. Now, if I'm going to mention a few use cases, there's an accessibility one where, for example, you don't have another hand and you still need to input for your watch, for example. So you're not able to do two-handed interactions. There are use cases where, let's say, you're outside and you want to input to your headset without seeming like you have gorilla hands where you wave your hands in the air, and you want to be discreet with your input. Some cases like that may be, just if you're typing your message out on a subway. Now, of course, that's a bit further ahead, but these use cases are already being built in these research laboratories and product laboratories outside our vision currently.
Lastly, can you detect different finger presses, or is it just the pointer?
Yeah, so if you think about the touchscreen on the phone, it doesn't detect different fingers, but it's still a great user experience. So we started from being able to detect where and when you touch very well. We do acknowledge that you may at some point want to know different fingers, to know like a left click and a right click. But that's currently very difficult with this watch because it hasn't been developed for this use case. But that's actually where we have a bunch of our patents on, is how do we change this watch in order to be able to detect those without any major hardware configuration changes.
I'd love to know more about your background and your co-founder's background and how you came to build this.
Cool, yeah. So my co-founder, Jamin, he's a classically trained pianist, and he has this subconscious tendency to kind of type his thoughts in midair when he's thinking them out loud. You know, he might be thinking something's fascinating, and he goes, fascinating, and then he registers in his head. So there was a time when he wanted to make a wristband that could detect this. EMG was the best option out there back then, but the problem was that the signal is very difficult to see. I mean, there's a bunch of companies working on EMG, but there is a reason why it's very difficult to get that thing to market. So the signal is very difficult to work with. So he created an alternative just because he wanted it for himself. And then we saw through some activities in the market that there's actual use cases in augmented reality. He has also a biomedical engineering background, so all the first prototypes were done by him. Myself, I've done a few tech startups before, and I was really one of his only friends who had done that before, so I was just kind of there at the right time. Learning as we go.
We have time for one short question.
One more. Yeah, so the way I process your value proposition, current AR glasses will be bulky because of the camera requirements, and therefore we need another device on our wrist so we can approximate gestures, right? So, and as you know, camera technology is getting smaller and smaller, more affordable, and form factors are improving. And based on your sort of like approach, is that big enough market opportunity to drive venture multiples?
Yeah, so that's for the first stage. So kind of that's the value prop we follow now. Of course, there's going to be technical advancements in the future, but for us, the value prop in the future is that you need discrete input, which you just physically cannot see. Like if you think about the moment when you're hovering and when you're touching, it's minute. So even though camera technology could get smaller, it's still very difficult to see because there's your finger in between. So there's going to be a fundamental change for using the sense of touch. But in terms of yeah, that would be kind of the value prop in the future as well. But the need for that discreteness of input is now less. So now it's more about the energy consumption and the process.
Ohto, thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. That was incredible. So next up we have Shader, Sesitskaya, and Chris Rojas.
IW conference. We are Shader, and we built first design tool to create AR without any coding. You can generate effects just on your phone. My name is Darya. I'm CEO and founder of Shader, and before working startup Wannabe. So we was one of the first company who create AR fashion and try-on technology for sneakers and accessories. This company was acquired by Farfetch, and also I joined Snapchat when I spent almost 2 years to work in Lens Studio team and be leader of design.
And I'm Chris Rojas. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Shader. I was previously at Oculus, or Meta, for the last 3.5 years, working on the AR design team on AR glasses. And before that, I was at Microsoft, where I was on the principal design team, prototyping experiences for the HoloLens. So right now, it takes, at minimum, around 3 or so hours to create the most basic AR filters and effects. It also requires a PC or a Mac. There's not really a mobile solution. You also take some programming skills. You might want to be a 3D artist as well. And it's not really cross-platform. So if you create on TikTok's tools, then you're going to be publishing on TikTok's platform and so on.
That's why we decided to build Shader and make AR more accessible for everyone, for Gen Z, Gen Alpha, who really struggles to create everything in computers. As you see right now, it's our live demo. You can generate your ideas just with prompts, type it, and you will see your results in real-time camera. For example, it was me, like Ariana Grande. And also, we think about more bigger future. We really believe in voice ML technology, when you can pronounce your idea, and we also generate for you 3D asset in real-time camera. This is future of assets in the future, glasses and spectacles, new generation.
So we wanted to show some technical progress. In March, we were refining our AI pipeline, getting the image quality to be better, to look more like the users. And then in April, we got it into our app. We got a cloud solution. It's all working in the app with world effects, or world-facing camera and user-facing camera. And then in May, we got live face filters where you can give it a prompt and generate your effects in the app. We're also doing a lot of research into other kinds of effects, like relighting effects and generating fully rigged characters from a prompt.
So we're still super new startup. We started build this company in November last year, launch our demo, have first 300 users. It's super beta closed version. We're not trying to make right now it's public. And right now we really focus on AI mesh magic, which we want to launch in the end of this summer, make it more public for everyone. And our business strategy looks like, first of all, we really focus on app, iOS and Android app. And we want to make it free for everyone, grow in our community, educate really teenagers, Gen Z use this product. And after that, integrate credit-based solution for really special effects. So they still can generate assets for free, but if they want something so polished, they start to use our payments. And at the moment, since B2B strategy, we already start our talk with AR design tools, and we want to integrate our API powered by Shader in already existing design platforms, and also talk with white label solution with brands who love AR, who have AR lenses and apps.
So we stand out from a bunch of our competitors because a lot of their AI image generation is just an image. A lot of other ones are also using complex tools, again, on the PC. Other ones, you have to upload videos and then you get a downloaded video. But we're trying to focus on our experiences being real-time, all done within mobile, and simple for users to create. So we got some really good user feedback. We have Conway here setting his living room on fire. We have Greg with the prompt green goo, turning himself into a little green guy. We also have Phil turning his dog into vegetables, and we have a Wes Anderson themed visit to San Francisco, and Maxim turned their Peridot into a Pokemon.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Right now, you can find our website, shaderapp.com, join our Discord community, try a new version of the product. We're so excited just to know your results, how it looks like, your experience, because we are in a super beta test flight. And also, we are hiring right now. We are happy to have new folks in our team who care about AI, machine learning, and design. Thank you.
Thanks.
Questions?
Nice to see you guys again.
Nice to see you, yeah.
I don't know whether or not this just didn't land on me, but I saw B2C, I saw B2B, and then I saw, I don't know what the other one was, B2B2C.
White labels with brands, yes.
So it can be really difficult to do any one of those well. So are you pursuing all three of those strategies at the moment, or are you
We have a roadmap, and currently, most of all, we focus on B2C. We want to grow a community of our product and people who will already enjoy creation in the product. And to be honest, we thought that B2B should start a bit later, just in the case that we want to, first of all, give users to touch that. But because of our beta launch, companies already start to reach out to us, talk with us, and we keep going to make these contacts really warm for the future. But now, still want to make our product unique in the market and pay our attention more for B2C story. Yeah.
And just to be clear, I know a while ago you guys were focused on kind of real-time effects, but then I was seeing some photos where it was.
Yeah, we started with the 2D pipeline, and then we moved to 3D, like real-time effects. So before we got to generating those assets, we wanted to make sure the assets were at good quality.
Yeah.
So that's what the 2D stuff is.
So you're focused now on the real-time filters.
Yeah.
Yes, even like this filters is a more like 3D, 2.5D, so it's like real 3D models almost,
Okay.
which you can try on in the filter way.
There's a lot of competition out there right now, different pieces of what you're building. How are you leveraging the community in the Discord app to kind of stand out?
Yeah, like everything what we make right now, it was organic, and it comes to us from our just advertising on TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we understand that it could be a lot of work right now with influencers who we're trying to choose really correctly, who is around our industry. And also, when we launched this product, I thought that it's designed to, but we found out a lot of feedback by users that it's kind of a new type of communication, and this makes us so unique that before we usually type, share with each other GIFs or videos, but with Shader you can propose your friends to go for lunch, just like record something immediately in our app, and we see big potential in integration of this product and messengers, and we are not rushed to integrate Messenger in our product, but we think that it could be really helpful to us to grow in our community. Yeah.
I have 3 questions to catch up with Greg. So how many people do you have in the company? How much money are you raising? And what would that help you accomplish in the next 6 to 9 months?
So we have 5 people at the company. There's us full-time, and then we have 3 other people, engineers, machine learning engineer, iOS engineer, and then an intern doing AR development and stuff. And then
we bootstrap all this time. So we just 2 weeks ago raised our first money. We are going to be part of Accelerator. It's first $500,000, and also we're going to finish another $500,000 with angels. And I'm thinking that in the end of September, when we will have more data from MVP, we'll start to raise the seed round.
Assume that you have the seed round, and what would that help you accomplish?
So there's a bunch of things that we need to accomplish to make ourselves kind of stand out in this AI and AR market, and a lot of that is about training new AI models to generate better and better content, quicker, and just 3D content, and generate materials and meshes, and have new ways of doing that faster without having to 3D scan things, or you have to like walk all the way around and all that.
And our results should be like you. So right now we really care about that quality that people really enjoy. That, oh, it's still me, even if I looks like Batman.
How do I know that Shader is the app that created the content that I'm viewing on TikTok or Instagram? Is there any way for me to tell?
For sure, we integrate first of all watermark in the video, so you can easily find out that it's built by Shader, but also just like promotion by our creators. It could be helpful for the first stage for us.
Okay, give a round of applause.
Thank you.
Chris. Next up, we have Cory Heizenrader from Education XR. Cory, take it away.
Hey, Otto. Otto, do you want to grab this? I just don't want this to fall. Sorry. Makes me nervous seeing it up there. Thank you. Yeah. All right, everyone. My name is Cory Heizenrader. I'm CEO and founder of Education XR. Everyone knows this, right? The future is 3D. The evolution of modern consumer hardware manufacturing is trending towards devices that support immersive experiences, right? Our phones, our tablets, our PCs. All the while, we have billion-dollar companies making billion-dollar investments to help realize the potential of what we expect, right? The future that we're expecting for immersive experiences. Over the past, I'm on year 15 right now. I've been working with global medical device manufacturers and medical institutions, creating innovative digital solutions, right? It's a very competitive industry, healthcare. And this is the space where we come from. The challenges that we've identified over that period of time we've worked with these device manufacturers and institutions that have delayed or slowed the adoption of immersive experiences are these: one-offs, high production costs, scalability, and lack of skilled talent. To address these challenges, we created Education XR. Education XR addresses creation, deployment, and distribution of immersive training and education content to all phones, tablets, desktops, and VR headsets. So one build gets you that interactive content on all devices, okay? Standard creation or development processes, right, require coding on the left-hand side here. Multiple individuals to deliver on the features and functionality of a project. It requires time and money. With Education XR and our intuitive creation tools, or no-code, low-code tools, right, a single individual with the developer SDK can create content faster and cheaper. Deployment happens, single push of the button. Deployment can go to all these devices. It's very easy and intuitive. And then distribution happens by way of public app stores. It's a more rich experience, a more mature capability to support all these devices. The target market that we address right now, training and education, you can see right here in 2019, global economy contribution, $8.8 billion, and expected to be $294 billion by 2030. Right? It's a proven technology. It's a proven value. Customers currently at the top are who we work with, right? Still major global medical device manufacturers, medical institutions, other hardware manufacturers, even grants that we've received from the Air Force and other DoD parties. And the future, right here down below, from up top, we've developed just over 120 courses with these customers to date. The future, these are all customers, again, more blue chip customers that we've worked with, identified, and actually are under NDA with a lot of these to continue to flesh out these opportunities to use our platform. The three major differentiators of our technology, competitive differentiators, are one, the platform, no code, low code. If we're going to realize the future, the scalable ability to create content, right, then we deliver this platform for user-generated content, not only by us or our enterprise customers, but for any daily user, right? Cross-platform is another differentiator. We support all devices. All content created with our platform is automatically multiplayer, so you don't need to build in that custom build capability with every project you create. Our business models include we build, right, professional services model, Heizenrader. We build content using our platform. And the other model that we have greater adoption at even today is that we license our platform so that others can create their own content. Okay. To date, we have realized revenue growth just about 100% year over year since 2019. And for 2023, we're projected where we started at in 2019, about 300K. We're expecting to achieve about 3.5 million before the end of this year. This is my partners, the three of us. Myself, my entire professional career has been working with global medical device manufacturers, in this space, along with my partner who also comes from Adobe. My other partner, Alejandro or Alex, PhD in theoretical physics and very early experience with virtual reality, and this is our team here at the bottom. Our ask, or what we're aiming for is 5 million. 5 million, 20%. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cory. Questions?
That wasn't bad timing. That's pretty good.
No.
I'm not sure if I caught this, but did you have that you currently have deployed the self-serve model and are starting to do the other one where you help, or was it vice versa?
No, you got it. That's right. So since 2019, we've been creating content for our customers, and only this year did we start to license our platform, Education XR, to others so they can create their own content. That's right.
Got it. Okay, so you're kind of going from a consulting model to a product-led
A professional services model to licensing the tech to others. That's right.
Got it. So what do you see? I mean, that's not an uncommon thing for companies to do. What do you see as some of the barriers and some of the challenges to moving to selling a product rather than a service?
Yeah, first off, we see immersive experiences as the future of knowledge sharing, right? Just like Zuckerberg does, right? And to accomplish that, we need to bring down that barrier of entry for others to create their own content by providing tools, right? No-code tools so people can create content without coding experiences. So that's kind of a barrier of entry that we are consistently, targeting to bring down over time, right?
But let's talk tactically in terms of you're going from, is the way that you're going to sell the product going to change? Do you have that expertise in-house, or are you going to bring in somebody, for example, who is experienced in paid advertising or, something like that?
There's always opportunity for people who are smarter than we are to help advertise and do that. Since we've bootstrapped the development of everything and we've built this technology with other customers, it kind of helps us learn how to bring down that barrier of entry, because we're not just cut it and here deliver and good luck. It's a partnership relationship early on, right? And we learn with our customers. But eventually, I do anticipate that we'll leverage other resources to help us scale even more.
How many online courses have you taken personally, and what is your favorite online education experience? Either something you built or something externally.
Yeah. So we actually just did a game jam recently with our company. We took a couple days off and we let everybody use the platform to create a game, right? Together, we broke up into 3 teams, and I was a member of a team. And we created a Michael Myers course. I like horror films. I like Halloween. And so the only thing that came to my mind for my game jam idea was to have Michael Myers as a character, right, out slashing and doing his thing. And so that was probably my favorite, because that was I was part of the course development for that, so it was cool.
I'll contribute on the commentary side. I'm skeptical, based on our experience at least, and also we've been wrong many times. So this no-code, self-serving module creation hasn't really taken off. And it's not the issue of immersive training is impactful or not. It is impactful because of the cognitive impact. The issue is that enterprises don't have time to learn another no-code platform to create their stuff. What's been really successful for immersive enterprise solutions is bespoke solutions. You identify a market opportunity, and you really sort of assume that it's big enough market opportunity, like say pharma or medical industry, whatever, and then you create solution set for them. And that's been more successful than horizontal, hey, we'll give you the tools you're going to create. I mean, you've done 120 modules so far in the last, 4 years? And then you're transitioning to professional service to recurring revenues. VCs don't care about the professional services revenues, right? It has to be recurring revenues.
That's right.
In order for you to raise $5 million at 25 million post money, the expectations would be that you have minimum 5 million recurring revenues in this market. So my suggestion, again, you can completely ignore, focus on bespoke solutions that you really create, and don't rely on customers getting the no-code environment and creating their own stuff. That doesn't really scale, again, in our experience.
And my response to that is, you're absolutely right. You have every reason to doubt, because we had lots of early companies, hey, we have no-code, low-code, and you look under the hood and you're like, it's not that great. It's not something that can just be accomplished overnight, right? It takes time to invest and create the tools to deliver on the promise of low-code, no-code, right? And so it's a constant.
I think low-code, no-code doesn't matter. It's the value proposition. Sure. Immersive training has been around for a long time. It's really the lowest hanging fruit right now, and has been from the very beginning, despite the original, PC and lighthouses and cables and everything. It was still selling. And in this market, it has to be a different value proposition.
Gotcha. Cool.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Cory. And final one before our break is David Gratton from Strawberry Fields. Give him a round of applause, everybody.
Thank you. My name is David Gratton. I'm the CEO of Strawberry Fields, and I'm going to talk to you about unlocking the role-playing opportunity in VR with our product, Aixia. I need to use this. Now, Aixia is a platform for creating and sharing and playing VR role-playing games with zero code and less than in 1 hour prep, which typically takes between 2 days and 6 weeks of prep. Now, you're probably asking why role-playing, but live role-playing is serious business, and it's actually underserved. The immersive entertainment market, which includes this, is a $9.7 billion market. It doesn't include Jubin Shah, which you may have not heard of, which is a role-playing game that's in China, which went from 0 to $2.7 billion in 10 years. It also doesn't include escape rooms, which is a $1 billion industry in the United States alone. Now, AMS Research and Planning said there is 5 major constraints to the supply that is leading to these issues of being underserviced. One is venue selection. Trying to find a venue where you can create a live action experience is hard. You can only service the local market. So when you build a space, you can only service the people that can actually travel to that space. There's operational complexity. You have a lot of people have to get into lines to do this. You have to clean stuff, stuff breaks, all of that kind of stuff. You have to have people hosting and managing crowds. And there's an increased desire for audience agency. So audiences want to touch and interact with more stuff, which makes more complexity, all leading to higher risk and more dollars. We all know here that VR role-playing solves all of those issues. And to add it up, you can have experiences that are not attainable in real life. However, the present platforms like VR Chat are not architected to take advantage of this market opportunity that I just talked about. VR role-playing is happening, but there's major technical barriers. You need to create your own games. You need to understand Unity and 3D to author one, which leads to device limitations. Because these are DIY games, means that on standalone headsets, you have very, very little product out in that space. In fact, there's almost none of this happening on standalone headsets, Quest 2 or Picos. There's an NPC management problem. There's an incomplete oversight. A GM can't manage an entire game by themselves because they can't see the space. And there's limited player agency. If you have not planned for a player choice in the role play, that means you cannot deal with it once the role play starts. Now, Aixia is for role players by role players, architected for the ground up to service this market. It can be built in minutes and requires zero code. It's cross-platform with PC VR and Quest 2. It's all driven by NPCs that can be embodied with a quick click by the GM. The GM has a God view where they can see every single map and move to there instantly, meaning that a single GM can manage a real-time role play. And more important, real-time authoring during play. So choices that were unanticipated for can be responded to immediately. Our key milestones is we prototyped this experience back last summer with role players. Over the fall and winter, we created the platform. We showed our first demo at GDC, which some of you may have seen. And this spring, we are now working with VR role player leaders who are actually active weekly in role playing to actually refine our product on our first playable. And we will be in closed beta in a couple weeks. At the end of the summer, we'll be in open beta and be selling our first asset packs, which brings me to the business model. Aixia is free. However, DLC and asset packs are on a per charge basis. So there comes with some standard asset packs, and this pricing came from our community. In the future, we're looking to add our UGC marketplace, and that breakdown is also from the community. Our timeline is we're presently on our first playable, and we will be launching live by the January of the new year. This is our team. We all have over 15 years of development experience. I've been running game studios for 25 years, and our head of CTO has 12 years in VR and AR. The support we're looking for is $600,000 via SAFE. All our funding to date has been non-dilutive grants. And the support of those funds will be helping us complete our UGC tool set, which I mentioned, help us with marketing, community, and content incentives, and finally our AI development for NPCs.
Good job.
Cool.
Fantastic. Questions?
Great job, David. And
Took some of your feedback.
yeah. So what have you learned so far during the closed beta in terms of GM and player dynamics, as well as demand for the assets?
So we're working with a really small group of handpicked users. So we're entering closed beta in 2 weeks. But from the group that we had, the key things that we're learning from is that the NPC embodiment is way more valuable than we thought. It's a bit of like, we just added that into the presentation in the last couple of weeks. So the idea of being able to jump into an AI NPC, exit that AI NPC, and be able to manage all of the NPCs with one GM is really, really valuable, because presently the way that has to work is I have to partner with multiple GMs to run a role-playing game. So now it's like, oh, you can actually run a simple role-playing game or a complex role-playing game with a single GM. So that was a much bigger thing than we had anticipated. What's not in the presentation is the audio channel. So one of the things that we support is multiple different audio channels. So if you look at VR chat, a lot of stuff happens outside a game. So it's called your role-playing card is down, which means that we have to talk about, we break the fourth wall, we have to talk about the scenario. With our product, we can group chat. So I can chat to you privately with a whisper. I can group you three together to communicate with you without disturbing the chat, the immersion for the rest of the team. So that is really, really valuable. And then, of course, the third one is the real time. You make any decision, I can actually move into space, create a new set in the world, and drop you there through a portal. And so that is like, that's magic.
What are your favorite games, and how are they influencing this build?
So I'm a big performance role player, right? So my favorite games are like Fiasco. My favorite games are Dinner Theater, so Dinner Murder Theater. So those are my sort of games. But game-wise, I have to go with my clients, such as The Witcher 3 and Dragon Age. So those action role-playing games, which is not really related to this so much. But if you're looking at the type of games that I love, it's those ones. It's if you haven't played Fiasco and you like performing, please, it's amazing. And Murder Mystery Theaters. I also like a good escape room.
Can you tell us about your UA strategy, and can you also tell us about how you call it, what is it, a GA?
GM.
GM.
Game Master.
So tell us about whether or not the Game Master plays any role in pulling people into the game. Like, are there, like I think on the Dungeons and Dragons website or something, they have like really famous game masters who host games at certain times and you try to get in.
Yeah, so every game master, so we're dealing with professional, so in our closed group of 50 GMs, they're all professionals. Okay. And they all have a reach of over 20 to 2,000, depending, because some of them are streamers. That's their reach. They are the ones that create the game and then call people to it. Now, they're also the ones that are most in demand. So at Y Combinator, one of our partners that we're working with is Start Playing. So Y Combinator is basically to do that. We're looking for game masters. And they are a marketplace for just game masters. So game masters are the ones that are core reach. And so our tool is aimed at them to make the best tools and experience for creating and managing a game. So to create, share, and play. You had the second question, which I didn't pick up on. I forgot.
It was your user acquisition strategy. So it sounds like it's all based around the GM.
It's based around the GM and presently core influencers. So this industry is really driven by the streaming influencers.
But then who do you sell the packs to?
So the packs, so GMs in general, the median spend of a GM, not professional, the median spend of a GM that plays once a month is $128 a year. That's the median, not medium, not average, okay? In LARPing, the average spend, sorry, it's not the average, the range in spending from a LARP is $300 to $3,000 per year. So that was leading me to a question to answer what you had just said, though. That was my setup. The question was?
User acquisition.
Yeah, user acquisition.
User acquisition.
Oh, well, and so who are you selling those?
Who's you're selling to?
Yeah.
So we're selling to the core GMs is what I try to. So the GMs are the ones who spend the money. Now, that doesn't mean that the players do not. So in the testing that we're talking about, players want customization of their avatars, even though they're playing a set character. I'd like him to have a scar. I'd like them to have an earring. I would like to have these type of elements. So they are also, so the asset sets. The range came from, when doing willingness to pay conversations, the $9 came from average assets. So like, give us a sci-fi asset pack. The $50 came from, give us a Marvel asset pack. Yeah, I'll pay $50 for that. What's
Okay, we're running out of time here, folks. Sorry to cut you off there, but that's a wrap for that one. Thank you so much. That's awesome.